welcome back to my dark room. I'm so stoked for this next video. It's going to be an interesting video. There will be many changes throughout my dark room, and at the start of this video, what I want to do is talk about it with you guys. I have mentioned before in the past, I'm always trying to achieve the best workspace, and the way I can do that is just working in here and figuring it out as I go. So throughout my videos in the past, I've told you guys the struggles of a workflow, but also the great aha moments of this is working out, this is really awesome, and just being so proud. And I appreciate both so much. So in order to not make this intro way too long, let me tell you what I have planned for my dark room. Now, I've been in here for I guess almost 3 years, if that's even correct. I'll write here exactly how long I've been in this dark room, which is my home dark room, and this is the second dark room I've built, and I really truly love it. But I know I can make it just a much better experience. So let me tell you exactly what I'm aiming for. But I do want to warn you that the dark room is kind of a mess. There's a lot of movement. I right before I went on vacation, which if you haven't checked out my last video, I hope you do, I went back home to California, to the Monterey Bay, to visit family, friends, and I had a photograph in a show in Carmel by the Sea, and that was awesome. So I talk to you and bring you along as I am going through my vacation, which is really cool. But I am back now in my dark room, and I have a lot of work to do. So let me show you exactly what I want to change, and hopefully at the end of this video you will see those changes. I hope I do. I hope it's as cool as I picture it in my mind. Let me just show you my dark room. And once again, if this is your first time here, my name is Viviana. I'm a film photographer, and I absolutely love creating photography in my studio. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for being here once again. I truly love sharing my space with you guys. So join me for this. I guess we can call it a vlog. Yeah, we're going to do it day by day. We'll see how it goes. And I hope it goes well. So let's start. And I want to say I'm so sorry for the bad lighting. I know I always struggle with lighting in here, but today I struggle more than ever because I put away my one solid good lighting that I have, because the dark room is such a mess, and I was moving things around, taking things out of storage and trying to accommodate them, and also cleaning. So I put it away, and since the dark room is still a mess, I didn't bring in that light because I don't want to trip. That's how much stuff I have around here. Also, I hope the visual's pretty good. I normally always film using my iPhone. I know it's not always the best. Right now, I'm using the Insta360 Ace Pro, which if you did watch my last video, I would say 90% of that video was filmed using this camera. So I'm still learning how to use it, and I hope it's looking good. So let me continue with this wall right here, which I think this wall will be the one that will have the most changes. And let me see if this is the correct order I should explain things in. You know what? Let me move you to the other side of the wall, because I think that will make more sense. And that is why I'm doing all these changes. So let me move you. The other day I had our handyman, whose name is Fabian, help me in the dark room. And he is the one that actually built my concrete sink. And I thought it was time to finally just point out these other things in my dark room that I really hope that he could help me with. So that was finally something to do with my heating cabinet, which is This one right here. Now, you've known that this has not worked since I brought it from California. It was given to me because it didn't work. But I wish I would have showed him this earlier because he fixed it within like 10 minutes or less. So it's working now. My drying rack, no, my drying cabinet is finally working. I haven't used it yet, but it's working. So that is awesome. This one, this guy right here, I will actually, instead of moving it around, because that's what I have to do, because there's no room for it on my sink when I'm working, I always have to move it around. So I'm going to have Fabian build a surface right here for me above the drying cabinet, and that's where this will be living permanently, and it will be really close to the water faucet, and it will be out of the way for when I'm making my prints. So that is super duper exciting. So now those are the two changes that I will have in my wet section, and that is what is making me make another change on the opposite wall over here. So let me show you what I'm now referring to, which I'm really, really excited about. Now that I have my drying cabinet working, I don't really need this here. So this is where I would dry my negatives. Now that I don't need it, I think I'm gonna put it back into the house. I don't wanna get rid of it yet. This is part of the set that was given to me from Riva Brooks' darkroom equipment. So I don't want to get rid of it yet. And that's like with a lot of my darkroom equipment. Like even though I might not be using it at the moment, I might in the future. So this one might be living in my house for now. And since I won't be using this anymore, I'm going to put some shelves. Shelves in order to make room on the other opposite wall, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But now that I'll have shelves, I can store many, many things here. And also, I feel it'll make the room just a little bit more neat, cleaner. I might have to get rid of all of my failed, flawed prints here, which I have mixed feelings about because I truly love them. I love looking at them. It means a lot to me. So I don't know. I might do something. Not sure quite yet, but at least I think this wall for sure will be more clean and will be able to store more of my darkroom items. So that is really cool. It'll just to be able to feel like it's less cluttered is going to be just amazing. Now that I'll have the shelves on the opposite wall, that means I can pretty much get rid of this whole piece of furniture, which means I have a whole new wall that I can use. I didn't really talk about this on my channel. I think I briefly talked about it on Instagram, but not on YouTube, which was that just recently, maybe like a month ago or two, I gave a workshop. It was a 3-day workshop. It was only printing, and I had such a great time. It really was a joy. And like I've told you before, I'm pretty shy, and I just also just got really used to working by myself in here, and I didn't know, it had been years since I taught a class, so I was really, really nervous, but it turned out great. I, like always, just was really in my head and overthinking everything, which ultimately we had a blast and it was great. And I want to repeat that. I want to offer more classes. But this time around, I would like to have 2 per class, not just 1. So in order to do that, I need a second enlarger besides my Bessler Dichro 67S, which is right behind me. I want to put another enlarger here, which is going to be so cool. So yeah, those are going to be the changes, the upcoming changes in my darkroom. I really hope that it will be awesome, that it will make the workflow so much easier, and also that it will motivate me to offer more workshop classes and to share this darkroom with other people. I really did truly love the experience of the 3-day workshop. It worked really great for me, especially because I'm always working in here. It was nice to kind of walk away from just my solo projects and from working on the computer so much. This really pushed me to just change it up a bit, and it was really, really cool. So I should continue the vlog. Let's do it. It's been a couple of days and there hasn't been any improvement in my darkroom. So I decided while we wait for the big changes to occur that it would actually be the perfect time to do a Q&A. So welcome to my house. This is my home. Actually, all of the questions come from Instagram. A couple of questions were asked in Spanish. So what I will be doing is I'll be answering those questions in Spanish, but also in English. I hope that's fine. I really wanted to answer the question in the language it was asked, so that's why I'm doing it this way. And also, I mean, for those that don't speak Spanish, I don't want you missing out on that question, so I'm doing both. And oh yes, just in case you guys hear a lot of noise, like yelling, my neighbor, which is actually my brother-in-law, there's a soccer game happening and he's there with a couple of friends, so there might be a lot of excitement, and if that does happen, that's him, blame him. So yeah, no one's dying or being tortured next to me. It's just a intense soccer game, I guess. So I have my snacks. I hope you get some snacks because this might be long. I'm really hoping that, you know, I edit this and make it just smooth, but you know, if I end up chatting a lot, I hope you guys get some snacks. I have this black tea my mom gave me. It's a vanilla caramel. And then I just went back home to California. So of course, I went to Trader Joe's and I bought so many snacks. Like my luggage was crazy full of snacks, and I have these cinnamon graham crackers with molasses that are really delicious. So this combination is just, I'm excited, I'm thrilled. I have my questions right here on my phone, I have my snacks, and it's a really nice day. I hope that you enjoy this video. I hope these questions get the answer they deserve. So let's just get started. First question, I'll also post a little photo right here of the question, and you'll see the user that asked me this, the username. So the first one is, are you mostly 120 or have you done any 35mm? So 35, I don't shoot often. I think it's been a really long time since I have. I mainly do 120. That's pretty much all the film that I have stocked in my fridge. That is what I have and that I use. It's been a really long time. The last time I really only would exclusively shoot 35 was my first couple of years back in college, and this was before I ventured into medium format. Was it difficult to install ventilation in your darkroom? And no, it was not, because I didn't do it myself. This house that we're in, we built it, we had an architect build it, and I told him that I was aiming for a darkroom. He had no idea what a darkroom was, like most people do. And I explained it to him and he installed the ventilation. Later on, when I moved into the house, I realized that it wasn't ideal. When I was working in there, I could still, the fumes of the chemicals were really present. So what I ended up doing later on was to put that extension that actually the other darkroom that I used to rent in California and Sand City, it had one, so that helped a lot. And also when I'm working in the darkroom, I really like putting a small fan on the opposite side of the sink, and I turn that on, and kind of helps with the ventilation. It just aims the fumes to one direction. Ventilation is very important. I really do recommend it. I know in the future though, I really would like to change my extractor, maybe get a more, not industrial, but more of a heavy duty one. I believe the one that was installed by the architect, it's just like your average one from a bathroom. There isn't much power to it. So I think that could be improved with time. This next person, he's been super duper helpful, and I was reaching out to him regarding a dehumidifier, and the question is, did you ever get the dehumidifier? And yes, I did. I thought I told him I did. The humidity level, I think at one point it was 75, and that's terrible. It should be, from what Google says, it should be between either 30 and 45 humidity level. Now that I do have a dehumidifier, it's at 50. Okay, so this next question is in Spanish.
And like I said, I'll read it first in the language that it was asked, so it's in Spanish. ¿Quién o quiénes son tus fotógrafos favoritos? ¿Quiénes te inspiran? Y bueno, son muchísimos, pero déjate digo, los primeritos fotógrafos que me marcaron, que me inspiraron de por vida, que al ver su trabajo dije, estoy en el lugar adecuado, estoy haciendo justo lo que mi corazón necesita. Ya sé que suena súper cursi eso, pero es la verdad. Y bueno, déjate digo quiénes son esas personas. Y creo que si has visto mi cuarto oscuro, has visto los pósteres que tengo de esos artistas. La primera es Graciela Iturbide. Su fotografía me fascina, me encanta. Puedo ver la misma fotografía que vi hace 13, 15 años, verlo y sentir el mismo encanto, además estar en la presencia de algo mágico. La segunda, Francesca Werman. No, hombre, vi su trabajo también. Esas son las primeras fotografías de fotógrafos que vi en el principio de mi carrera de fotografía. Fue Francesca Werman, me fascinó, o sea, y todavía me encanta tanto. Y es de allí donde saqué el amor del autorretrato. Me gusta muchísimo Manuel Álvarez Bravo, también me gusta mucho Ansel Adams, Edward Weston, me gusta mucho Abrazai, me encanta. A ver. Creo que ellos son mis favoritos, o sea, si son los únicos que me vienen a mente ahorita. Ah, claro, Sally Mann, hombre, ella me fascina, es buenísima. Sus fotografías que vi de sus hijos fue algo que, hombre, que me impactó totalmente. Y es tan curioso porque estamos viendo Sally Mann en clase y todo no quiero decir problemas, pero todo aquello que, pues, lo que la gente, el público pensó de las fotografías de sus hijos, ¿no? O sea, fue todo un tema. Yo no lo vi así para nada. Yo pienso que fueron fotografías muy honestas, muy bellas y profundas, me fascinaron. Y es lo que me encanta de esos fotógrafos que menciono, o sea, son fotógrafos que siento que no tuvieron miedo, que tuvieron algo que decir y lo dijeron. Tú dime si tienes otro fotógrafo que a ti te fascina, o también dime si has conocido la fotografía de estos fotógrafos y si te gustan. Me gustaría saber. So my favorite photographers, I have a couple, and these are the first photographers that I was introduced to in college. The first person that comes to mind is definitely Graciela Iturbide. I love her work and I have one of her posters in my darkroom. She inspires me greatly, and still to this date when I see her photographs, the same photographs I had already seen once before, it still captivates me and holds me, and I'm just in awe of her voice, of what she wanted to share with me, you know, as the viewer. Another photographer that I really love is Francesca Werman. She introduced me to self-portraits. She gave me the courage and the need to see myself and photography a different way. I love her work. And there's Sally Mann. Oh my gosh, I love Sally Mann. And my most favorite photographs of Sally Mann, which were the first ones that I saw, that I was introduced to in college, was the photographs of her children. I was just so captivated, and I just thought they were so beautiful, so strong, and yet fragile, but not fragile in the way they'll break, but just in the way of like, there's just this beauty, the sensitivity to them, I guess. And I was just so drawn to them. I thought they were gorgeous. I really loved them. I thought that they were done with so much love and tenderness, and they were beautiful. And I own one of those, that book. I forget what the title is right now, and I'm trying to look for it, but I have all my photo books scattered around. But that one I just adore. And I've read, well, I'm still in the second memoir of hers, but I really love that she talks about it in that one. And also that she shares motherhood as a film photographer, working from home. If you haven't read that book, I really recommend you do. It's beautiful. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm savoring it. There is Manuel Alvarez Bravo. I love his work. And who else? Ansel Adams, Edward Weston. But the photographers that have marked me the most and have given me the courage to just be who I am now and creating what I want to create because I need to create it, I have to give my thanks to Graciela Iturbide, Sally Mann, and Francesca Woodman, for sure. I love that even though it's been years and I look at the same photograph, I'm just still captivated as I was the first time. And I remember who I forgot, Brasai. I love his photography too. So someone asked, have you ever shot with orthochromatic film? I have not. This sounds familiar to me, but like right now I don't even recall exactly what it is. So unfortunately, my reply is gonna be super short. No, I have not. And I don't know much about it. I stick to the same film every single time. I'm someone that, if it worked once and I enjoyed it, I'll just keep doing it. I don't really explore with other films like I should. I'm not very adventurous as a photographer. Philosophical question. Do you think analog photography is about control or surrender? I completely feel that it's both. I, as a photographer, am in control, especially because of the type of photography that I do. Personally, I plan it out. It takes me time. It takes collecting all these little things to unite to create this photograph that I want to be proud of. So for me, that is the control part of it. And there's a surrender because when you end up looking at your photograph, you're communicating with yourself, the most vulnerable part of yourself, the part of yourself that, at least personally, the photographs that I take, I feel that there's a lot of emotion. It's a time for me to not be afraid anymore. Every little thing you do has a consequence. Every action is seen, and I love that. That's the control part of it all, and it's beautiful to feel like you're in control for once. And then it comes to looking at that photograph and what it is that you wanted to say. You are talking to yourself. I know this sounds so maybe lame, but it's true. That is what I see, and it feels so, I'm thinking of the words liberating and refreshing, but they just don't seem correct. But it feels so good to, for once, separate all that you hate, that scares you, that repulses you, separate it from yourself and to look at it no longer inside of you. I'm grateful for those moments to be able to step away, to look at it, and somehow feel like there's more to it. It doesn't have to stay there. It doesn't have to stay in here, So, yeah, I hope that was a good reply. Let me know if you can relate, or if you feel completely different. Let me know. I'd love to know, definitely. How do I keep my fiber-based print so flat? So I work with fiber-based print paper. I lay it onto the drying rack. I put it image face up, put it in, and there is curling. Definitely by the next day, it will be curled. But the way I store my photographs, which is the most basic and not special way, is for the first couple ones, I will store it in, if I have any extra photo boxes where the photo paper comes in, if I have any that are empty, I just store my prints there. And just throughout time, with more photo prints on there and the weight of them, they will flatten out. And then, of course, after that, when I know that these photos are the good ones that I'm proud of. I will then put them in archival boxes where I have many more photographs. So it's just the weight of them all will flatten them out with time. So this next question is, will you be offering any developing classes down the road? And I kind of already touched the subject at the beginning of this video, and I'm happy to say yes, I am. So this girl reached out to me couple months ago. She had many negatives that she wanted to work with, you know? And for me, printing, that is the magic of it all. If I wasn't able to print, I don't think I would be shooting film. For me, printing and working in the darkroom, that is what gives me everything. It gives me everything, and I love it so much. So I was really excited. We had a beautiful time. It was a 3-day workshop, and it was originally just going to be printing, but then she had some film that she had developed in Mexico City, but then there were some rolls of film that were not developed, so she wanted to develop them. And so I helped her with that, and it was a lot of fun. Seeing people and being in the presence of them discovering the side of photography is just so rewarding and special that I want to do it again. The second question that I have in Spanish, this is the last question in Spanish, and it is, ¿en qué te inspiras para hacer tus fotografías? Lo que me inspira son varias cosas, o sea, puede ser de alguien en particular, tal vez un amigo, alguien del trabajo o un extraño. Los puedo ver, me inspiran, y puede ser ellos, luego puede ser tal vez un lugar, puede ser, son varias cosas las que me inspiran. Y lo padre de como yo trabajo como fotógrafa es de que empiezo a coleccionar todas esas cositas y luego lo creo. O sea, toma mucho tiempo, puede ser, o sea, ha habido fotografías que yo creo, pero me tomó meses para llegar allí. Y puede ser porque justo me tomó tiempo juntar todo lo necesario. Y más que nada, lo más esencial es de que fue todo el tiempo que me tomó en pensarlo, en crearlo en mi mente. Y es la parte más emocionante para mí, es formar todo eso en mi mente y luego el día de crearlo y luego encima ya por fin verlo en papel. Es algo tan mágico y me fascina tanto. Autorretratos, y eso es algo que es súper frustrante para mí porque por fin estoy del otro lado, no estoy en control, y a la vez esos autorretratos son los que son más especiales para mí porque como que por fin no tengo que pretender. O sea, es algo que hago todo el día, todos los días. Ya no ignorar todo lo que me pesa, todo lo que me espanta. Ya es por fin aceptarlo, pero hacer algo al respecto, ¿no? Y esas son las dos inspiraciones para mí. So the next question is, I forgot I have to reply this in English now. Okay, so my biggest inspiration for my photographs, what inspires me greatly is the daydreaming in formulating and putting together all these little pieces in my life that have created an emotion that at the moment I don't understand. It's just something that I feel like I want to work with. And when I finally, after time, come to it and create it, after so long of just having it in my head, it's just so amazing. And then it even gets better when I see the photograph in my hand, the wet silver gelatin print, and I just love it so much. And so there's that aspect, but also when I take my self-portraits, those are not planned. When there's been a long gap and I want to work with something new, take self-portraits, and it's the most frustrating and annoying thing ever, but it's so needed. And I struggle with it. I don't enjoy it, and I hate myself each time. But after working on those negatives and looking at the print, I'm really grateful I did it. One, I like really to document my life, and I have these self-portraits of myself throughout the years, but also like, it's a way of being so unguarded, and the pretending is done, it's over. Like, I need to pretend like my life is amazing, like it's good. Like, I need to ignore everything that frightens me, that weighs on me, that just, like, I don't do it for people around me, I do it for myself. Like, I need to concentrate on all that is good and that is lovely and that makes me grateful, but there's a time where that gets so tiring. You need to let go of it. So that's what I do with my self-portrait. It's so empowering to separate it from myself, because even though I'm ignoring it on a daily basis, it's still inside, it's still creeping on the corners of my mind. So separating myself from it, it's just so empowering. It's okay. It's okay, and it will be okay. I actually have a couple of new questions from my Instagram Q&A. So I have, instead of 3, I think there's like 5 in total left. I will try to be brief. This one is, I believe, I had to translate it right now. I believe it's asking what developer do I use and what film. So for paper developer, lately, since I moved back to Mexico, I've been using Kodak Dectol and Kodak Xtol. For my go-to films, definitely it's Kodak T-Max and then Ilford Delta. Those two I've been using for years, and I hope I get to keep using on and on because I really like them. This one's in Spanish. Me gusta mucho tomar fotos, pero perdí la inspiración. ¿Algún consejo? Bueno, honestamente, si yo no tengo la inspiración, no lo obligo. O sea, si además no me nace o no tengo las ganas de ir a tomar fotos, yo no me obligo. Pero esa soy yo. O sea, yo no puedo trabajar bajo como obligación, pero lo que sí haría yo, cuando no tengo la inspiración de tomar fotos, es ya trabajar con lo que ya tengo. Y es una técnica de la fotografía alternativa que aprendí en la universidad hace unos años. Así que de lo que consiste el transfer lifts es papel de acuarela, papel DAS transfer film y gel antibacterial. Y usando esto pude crear fotografías súper distintas, o sea, de lo que normalmente acostumbraba a crear. Era algo que, pues, fue un cambio necesario, pero también un cambio que me facilitó ese estado. O sea, me divertí, fue algo sin presión, sin que tener que ser, bueno, no quiero decir perfecto, pero muy técnico. O sea, esto me liberó de todo eso. O sea, fue una técnica donde me pude además pasármela bien. O sea, no me tuve que preocupar tanto de los costos de material, sentir que eso era algo como, o sea, que tenía que valer la pena. Eso también es un estrés. O sea, estoy trabajando con materiales mucho más económicos y pues era algo totalmente diferente, pero era nuevamente visitar un negativo que me gustaba bastante, porque para crear esta fotografía utilicé mis negativos. Para eso tenía que escanear el negativo y luego en Photoshop tenía que invertir la foto para luego poder ponerlo en la imagen. O sea, esto es una técnica, es muy sencillo, pero toma práctica para poder adquirir lo que tú quieres crear, ¿no? O sea, sí tiene su chiste, ¿no? Y tengo videos acerca de esa técnica aquí en mi YouTube también, si gustas verlo. Pero bueno, así que si no tienes la energía, inspiración, si necesitas un cambio, O sea, yo es lo que he hecho en el pasado. Espero que eso te ayude. Ok, ahora la versión en inglés. I really like photography, but I've lost inspiration. Do you have any advice? So my advice would be, don't force it. Don't make yourself go take photos if it's not within you to do it. There's been other things that I've tried out, and it also depends what the lack of inspiration is. For me, some of the obstacles for me to not create photographs has been economical. That's like the biggest reason. I either just don't have the money for the materials, or I don't have access to a dark room. And there's still hope. You can still work with photographs, with negatives that you've worked on in the past, that you already have. And that's what I've done. Like, for example, creating a transfer lift. So I got to work with my negatives, and that was really cool. And I have videos on transfer lifts in my channel too if you want to check it out. But it was a way to work with my negatives and to create something so unique and different from the classic silver gelatin print of that photograph. It didn't have to be perfect. It was very different, and I knew I wanted to do something. I wanted to create something. So I had that little bit of hope to do, but I didn't, it was just, I wasn't inspired. I didn't have something I had been daydreaming, something that I had been cultivating in me, but I wanted to create something, and I didn't want to waste my silver gelatin, and I didn't want to waste my fiber-based paper because I just couldn't afford it. I then remembered once again, transfer lifts, which is an alternative process technique. And that was awesome. The materials are so much more economical, and it was, like I said, giving a different life to these photographs. It's so much more easygoing. It does take some practice. There are some certain techniques, but once you have it down, you can truly create something super unique and cool. Makes me practice and not feel pressure or guilt that I don't know what I'm creating and I don't know where it's gonna go, and I feel bad that I'm wasting materials. So what is the point? The point is to not stop, to keep practicing. So that's what I do. That's where I venture into, and I hope this reply helps. We're always in a weird funk. Sometimes you just feel stuck. There's things you can do. And I don't want to say like force yourself, because I personally, if I feel forced, I will not do it. And I just can't. So this is just something that's helped me in the past, and I hope it helps you. What was your first darkroom printing experience like? And I love this so much because I'll never forget it. I signed up for that photo class because I wanted to just try something different. It was my first year of college. Don't know exactly what I was expecting, but it was not film. For 19-year-old me, I was blown away that I had forgotten about the existence of film. I'm a kid from the 90s, and film was important. My mom, anyone around me that wanted to document a moment had a film camera. So walking into a dark room was so new to me. I had no idea. I had no idea at all. And it was just so amazing. I truly loved it. But working in one, it's just out of this world. It was so cool. Our darkroom was really big. I will always associate the darkroom with music too. My teacher would always play music. Definitely always Dr. Dog. I remember that for sure. And it made everything just so cool and so much fun. And I loved it. It was definitely the highlight of college for me. We only have 2 more questions, and they're gonna be super simple, so we're almost at the end of the video. Thank you so much for being here with me during this Q&A. Do you do any color photography? I do not. I've never tried it. I am intrigued. I do really love color photography as well. I do love it. And for example, I didn't mention Vivian Maier as my favorite photographer. She's definitely up there on top for sure. I really, really like her color photography, and I don't know if I'll ever shoot color. Like I said, I am intrigued. maybe one day, maybe one day. This is the last question. And now the Q&A definitely ended on my Instagram, it expired. So this is the last question for sure. And it's asking, what's your favorite paper for prints? My go-to paper has always been, for the longest time, Ilford 11 by 14 multi-grade glossy fiber-based paper. The glossy fiber-base I love, and it's great. And that's what I use for mostly all of my photographs. But for contact sheets, I use Luster or Pearl Ilford paper. I do not like glossy RC paper. It's way too shiny, I don't like it at all. And there has been, the only other paper I ever used besides being Ilford, and this was back in the day in 2010, 2011, 2012, because I think they stopped producing this paper, but for a long time I used Oriental, and that paper was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it, but like I said, I don't think you can get that anymore. And I'm a pretty boring photographer. I don't try new things, so I don't really experiment with a lot of photo paper. Recently though, I guess I did try new paper, the Arista for my contact sheets, 8x10 RC. And I really did enjoy it. I did like the Arista paper for my contact sheets. Maybe in the future I'll try it out for my final fiber-based prints, like my silver jelly prints, the ones that I sell and such like that. But for now, my go-to has always been the Ilford multi-grade glossy fiber-based paper. So this is the end of the Q&A section of the video. Thank you so much for all these questions, and I hope the answers were interesting, and I hope somehow this inspired you to shoot some film, take photos, or just to be creative in general. Create that one thing that you've been wanting to express, either with other people or with yourself. And yeah, let's check out the new dark room. Please, please, please.